Hello Nampa, I'm Kirk Carpenter, Fire Chief for the Nampa Fire Department. The Nampa Fire Department, Mayor Kling, and Nampa City Council need your help and feedback. Over the past 18 months, a third-party consultant has been evaluating the fiscal sustainability of our fire department. Those findings were recently shared with our city leadership team, and we're now seeking feedback from you, the businesses and the citizens who depend on us to help ensure we're providing a stable and sustainable model for the community we serve. As first responders, we know that every second counts when lives and property are on the line. When someone calls 911, their expectation is for help to arrive in a timely manner to prevent loss of life and property. Our level of service is directly related to our response times. That's the time from when we receive the call until the moment we arrive on scene. We strive to meet our goal of reaching 90% of our calls within 6 minutes and 20 seconds. That aligns with the recognized national standard. Now, why is that such an important specific time, you might ask? For emergencies that involve home and building fires, science has shown us that the fire grows exponentially. We know that without intervention and the appropriate number of firefighters on scene, there are dramatic changes that occur near the 8-minute mark. If delayed beyond that time frame, we see significant increase to the risk of life, not only to the occupants, but to our firefighters as well. The fire spreads to other areas of the building, and the fire department's ability to make positive impact is decreased, causing a higher degree of property damage. For critical emergency medical calls, we know that if a citizen was to experience a medical emergency such as a heart attack or a choking event when they stop breathing, time is of the essence. After the 4-minute mark of oxygen deprivation, the human brain begins to die, and the mortality rate increases by 10% each following minute. It is vitally important our crews arrive within the 6-minute and 20-second response time to make a difference in that citizen's life. You might be surprised to learn that the last fire station built in Nampa was in 2007. That's 13 years ago. Our stations are strategically located throughout our community, with the colored map sections you see representing the areas where our stations are able to meet our response time goals. You also probably notice that there are gaps throughout our community which do not currently have that coverage. Especially this is notable in the southwest Nampa area where Station 6 is planned to be built. In 2019, there were over 3,000 calls for service the fire department was not able to reach in our desired response time. This represents nearly 1/3 of our calls for service, and it's very concerning. Since the opening of Station 5 in 2007, our community has experienced significant growth in population, and our response times have increased over 1 minute and 20 seconds, leaving our current average time to arrive on scenes at 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Without the addition of any further stations since 2007, the Nampa Fire Department is responding to twice the number of calls. And as Wallet Hub just released, growth is not anticipated to slow down for Nampa, and it's listed as one of the top 10 fastest growing cities in the nation. Increased population and geographic spread without adequate stations and personnel equals increased calls, longer response times, and as a result, we will experience a higher risk to the lives and the properties of those we are sworn to protect. Ultimately, for emergency response, every second matters. When it involves our community, we believe that every second is precious, and we must look into all options to stabilize and sustain the emergency response needs to meet the growing needs of our community. Galena Consulting researched alternatives for our community with the following goals in mind. Maintain response times as growth occurs by funding, staffing, and equipping new stations when and where they're needed. A net neutral fiscal impact to our taxpayers. No negative impacts to the city budget, to stabilize the experience and quality of the care for residents and businesses, and ensure adequate governance. After spending over a year evaluating all the related matrices of the city, fire district, and the department, they presented the city with 3 options. Option 1, the city continues its conservative funding trend, which results in a decrease in service as growth occurs. Response times and community risk will continue to increase. All future stations would be further delayed due to insufficient impact fee collection rates and available funding for staffing. Due to a continual increase in call volume, potentially discontinuing non-emergency fire department services such as smoke detector program, public education, and station tours. Inability to maintain the Idaho State Rating Bureau ISRB Level 2 insurance rating, which would increase Nampa property owners' insurance. Option 2, city commits to maintain the current service level, which is already below recommended standards of the Nampa Fire Department. This option requires all new revenue for the city until growth subsides to be dedicated to the Nampa Fire Department, limiting other growth within the city departments. You should note, should there be any further state legislation limiting the collection of property tax, this option would not be sustainable and service levels would decline with growth. Option 3, Nampa Fire Department and the Nampa Fire Protection District form a single entity and taxing district responsible for delivering all fire and emergency medical services. This would give access to increased state revenues. The district commits to building, equipping, and staffing new fire stations with growth. The district would have single focus priority of fire and EMS service to the community. It gives improved response times as soon as Station 6 is built, and sustained and improved service for the city taxpayers at the net neutral cost. A consolidated Nampa Fire District can fund the following. They can provide new and ongoing staffing for all the new stations. They provide a sustainable funding option for all future department growth. They're able to fund future stations and apparatus via impact fees. They can do this with a net neutral tax impact on city residents, with a positive net fiscal impact on current city operation budget, eliminating future burdens on city budgets, and provide adequate cash reserves to cover economic downturns. The Nampa Fire Protection District would move to a 5-commissioner board who would be elected by the citizens. The map shows 5 sub-districts that would be represented by a commissioner with a 4-year term and elected by the residents from that district. So how can you help? The Fire Department, Mayor Kling, and the Nampa City Council need your feedback to make a decision on the proposed consolidation. Thank you for taking the time to learn about this important consideration. As we said earlier, we know time is precious and we appreciate yours. Take care and be safe, Nampa.